community organizer, member of the South Carolina House of Representatives, and former chair of the South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus. So call a friend, get ready. The David Mack Show is on the air.
Hi, welcome to the show, the David Mack Show. I'm David Mack III, broadcasting live from not so sunny Charleston, South Carolina today. We've got some rain, but the weather's still nice. Will not complain. Will not complain. Hope everyone is doing well. Got a full day. A lot of things to talk about. Our Chief of Staff, Daniel Patrick Mack, is in the house. He'll be in just a minute. And Ramsey operating the controls, keeping everything in check, because y'all know I don't do that. But anyway, hope everyone is doing well. There's an interesting conversation this week. You know, I was doing what a lot of people do, channel surfing on the radio. We do it with remotes, we do it in our car. But rule number one, never channel surf when you're on my show. When you're on my show, lock it in. That's the David Mack rule. But anyway, I was channel surfing a couple days ago. D.L. Hughley, who has a national talk program in the evening, Rhythm and Blues, but they have some conversations about some pretty good topics. And they raised the question, it's that time of year where Nike comes out, the shoe company, with a new edition and what have you. And they always do a limited amount. And we've all seen it. It happens just about every Christmas time or every time they come out with a new edition, which is usually around Christmas. And people lined up. Some people sleeping in line to buy the shoes. And then violence over a pair of sneakers. And the question was raised on the D.L. Hughley show, whose fault is it? Is it our fault or is it Nike's fault? And I didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of it. I was in the car heading somewhere. And one guy called in. Well, I think both are culpable of this situation. He went on to give this explanation. And I think and it seems like a lot of folks were blaming Nike and basically us in the black community, because black folk calling, because with regards to the situation. And I want to tell you point blank, no, it's not Nike's fault. Nike is a business. They have no obligation to us in our community. You know, one of the first things I remember Bill Saunders saying, I would listen to him, I was in high school. We are responsible for ourselves. No, it's not Nike's fault. It's problematic, number one, that you're going to put in that much effort, sleep overnight, throwing elbows, fighting, sometimes pulling out weapons for a pair of tennis shoes. And we've heard the horror stories about people that have the shoes and being robbed. If you want to blame Nike for that, if we have segments of the black community who want to blame Nike for that, you might as well stamp victim on your forehead. And I've been consistent with this argument as relates to liquor stores and all the stuff they put in our neighborhood. Just don't go. The Obama store. There's one in North Charleston, there's one in Columbia. The Obama store. Well, they've named the store after our president, but right under that, beer, wine, and cigarettes. They have a right to do that. It's on us not to support those types of businesses. And don't think Nike has not done a lot of studies as relates to market share, so they know when to bring them out. They know where to put it. They know when the next round is coming out. All of those type things. And every year we make the millions on top of millions on top of millions. And they're studying black folks like you would study a lab rat in science. So no, it's not Nike's fault. It's not the liquor store fault. It's not the other things that come in our neighborhoods. It's not their fault. It's our responsibility that we need to program ourselves. Some things we're not going to support. When I was in high school, my senior year and a couple years in college, I used to work summers at a place called Sam Solomon. Those of you that are old enough remember that store. And I was a worked the stocks. I was like 18, 19 years old, stock boy, whatever. And I developed a friendship. And it really was my first friendship. I grew up in a segregated setting. My first friendship with a person that was white. He was Jewish. And a group of us were talking one day, and we were 17, 18 years old. And somebody mentioned a Volkswagen. His whole expression changed. Now, he was a happy-go-lucky type guy. We all were. We just, his whole expression changed. I never will forget that. Why? Volkswagen is a German-made car. The Holocaust. He was programmed, and properly so. I have a ton of respect for that. That Volkswagens are anything as relates to German-made, he's going to have a problem with. And I respect that. It took me a while to understand it. But as I look back on it, I have a ton of respect for that. One of the reasons we have such great callers on this show is because shows like this that have serious discussions draws people that have a consciousness. Consciousness basically is a love of oneself. And if you love yourself, and if you're focused and you have some goals in life, you're not going to spend all night so you can wake up to buy a $200 pair of tennis shoes. Tennis shoes. And on top of that, there's so many folks in that line, and we know it, that's having trouble paying their rent, that's having trouble paying their electric bill, having trouble buying food, surviving. I'm willing to bet you, we know it's true, there's guys in that line that's still living at their mama's house. That is not a good thing. So the next time there's a discussion, as relates to Nike, or putting a liquor store in our community, and the other thing we like to say, drugs in our community, we don't have boats or airplanes to bring that stuff in. But you know what? Nobody puts a gun to your head and makes you buy it and use it. That's the type of responsibility we are going to have to develop individually and collectively in the African American community. The simple cliche: loving yourself, respecting yourself. Those are the key things. And I've said it before, it's not about being perfect, but it's laying out what type character you're going to have, what type individual you're going to be, what type human being you're going to be. Do you have integrity? That becomes the key. So we've got a lot to talk about. Again, Standing in the Wings is